$629 for a bag of salt water. And weirdly, that wasn't even the worst part. By the end of this, I found a charge for a test I never even had. So this is my actual hospital bill, and that saltwater line, it was the only thing on here I could even read. The rest was just codes. Line after line of numbers that means something to them and nothing to me. A big total at the bottom, and no way to know if it's even right. And nobody ever explains this part. So let me. Every charge on a hospital bill is a little 5-digit code, and every code is tied to a price. But the book that tells you what those codes actually cost, you don't get to see it. They hand you the bill, and they keep the code book. And the people who check these bills for a living will tell you most of them are wrong. Like 80% have at least one error, an error you'd never catch because you can't read the code. So I did the thing almost nobody does. I asked for the itemized bill, sat down, and actually read it, line by line. And right away, something jumped out. The same thing can cost completely different amounts. Same MRI, same city. $400 one place, over $3,000 at another. So I went looking for who actually decides these prices. Turns out every hospital has one secret master list. It even has a name, the charge master. And that same bag of salt water could be $7 at one hospital, or $700 at another. Same bag, same salt water. You'd think the price comes from what it costs. It doesn't. It comes from a spreadsheet nobody outside the hospital is even allowed to see. Now, the government did notice. There's a law now that says every hospital has to post its real prices. So I went and read it. But years later, only about 1 in 5 actually do it. The rest, still hiding the price. And it gets worse. When you can't pay a bill you were never allowed to check, it gets sold to collectors, and it hits your credit. The government's own watchdog found $88 billion of medical bills sitting on people's credit reports. So a bill you couldn't read becomes a debt you can't escape. A $1 trillion system built on a piece of paper you were never meant to understand. So I stopped trying to fight one bill, and I started asking something bigger. What if the bill just had to show its work? So I went looking to see if anyone had actually solved this. Not a pitch, a real system that real people use. And I found one. A whole country, actually. In Estonia, your health records don't sit locked in some hospital's file. Every entry, every change, gets written onto something called a public ledger. Okay, so what does that actually mean? Picture your bill, but with the codebook wide open. Every charge out in the daylight. What it is, what it costs, signed and stamped with the moment it happened. No code without what it means. No price without a reason. And the reason nobody can secretly change it? It's not sitting on one computer you just have to trust. The same record is copied across thousands of computers at once, so quietly editing it is basically impossible. And it's one record, not the hospital's version and the insurance company's version. One. And you both see the same thing at the same time. I kept reading because honestly, I didn't buy the privacy part. But this is the clever bit. You decide who sees it. A clinic asks one question, you say yes, they get one answer. And your record never leaves your hands. Trust stops being something you just owe the hospital. It becomes something you can actually check. And this isn't some someday idea. Estonia's been doing it for years, and the EU's rolling out the same thing for everyone. So imagine actually being able to read your own bill. You leave the hospital, tap your phone, and it's all just there. Every charge in plain English. The code book, finally open, right in your hand. Charges that can hide in code on a record you control? 0. Readable. From a number you were forced to trust, to a bill you can actually check. And what would it cost to read it, check it, prove every line? Nothing. But I didn't want to leave you hanging with a someday. So let me give you the one thing you can do right now. By law, if you ask, the hospital has to give you an itemized bill. So I asked for mine, and that's when I found it. A charge for a test I never even had. So I disputed it. So next time a hospital bill shows up, don't just pay the summary. Ask for the itemized one and read it. 80% have an error somewhere. Go find yours before it costs you. Then tell me what you caught down in the comments. I read every single one. Because your health shouldn't come with a bill you're not even allowed to read. And fixing that starts with something really simple. Just opening it. That's the whole idea. One open bill at a time. Blue Ridge Treasury. Subscribe, a new blockchain idea every week.